said we could come back later. She said no, seemed keen to get it over and done with.
Yeah?
Owner's a Susan Harding. She's had loads of family back after the funeral, so sucker's a waste of time on this one.
Point of entry?
Round here. Mind that. One of yours, you reckon?
Definitely his MO.
Bit of elbow, nobody'd hear a thing.
What about the neighbours? Did anyone see anything?
Yeah, old boy opposite saw a van delivering flowers.
Flowers?
That's what he reckons. About 12:30.
Get a description of the driver?
Only saw him from behind. Said something about a green jacket.
What about the van?
There was a red and gold thing on the side, painted, like a coat of arms.
Got a list?
Yeah, she's still looking.
Jewellery, clock. And what's this box?
That's what the jewellery was kept in. Must have been worth a bit on its own. Carved wood or something. She was more upset about that than anything else.
The character you were trying to get hold of this morning, the bar mitzvah. He rang while you were out.
Oh, cheers. And?
Said his sister remembers seeing a van.
Where?
Parked outside when they went off.
Did she see the driver?
She can't remember. But for what it's worth, she reckons the van was well past its sell-by date. Said the only thing holding it together was the rust.
I'm sorry about that. Josie, would you mind? Come on, John. Let's go look at your rabbits.
Mrs. Harding, DC Martella. Look, I'm sorry this has come at such a bad time. We'll be as quick as we can, and the scene of crimes officer will be by later on.
What for? You won't catch him, will you?
Well, in the meantime, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you not to touch anything.
I want to get rid of some of the things he's touched. In the bathroom, towels.
I don't think he went in the bathroom, Mrs. Harding.
They feel dirty. I just want to get rid of them.
I do need to ask you some questions.
Sorry, I'm being silly.
What time was the funeral?
12:30.
And you got back here for?
Just before 2.
Could you tell me when your husband died?
Saturday.
6 days ago.
Yes.
And did you announce his death in the newspaper?
No.
All the time of the funeral?
No, it was just family and friends.
The jewellery that was taken, have you any idea how much it was worth?
No. It was quite a bit, I think. Some of it was my grandmother's.
And the jewellery box, could you describe it to me?
It was mahogany. It was about this big. It was a present. My birthday 3 weeks ago. From my husband.
Well, 18 so far, 19 with this one. Empty house, always the same method of entry.
What's he after?
Well, jewellery seems favourite. Nice stuff. He targets christenings,
You
weddings.
said this one was a funeral.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he knows in advance who's going to have a party. He knows when. And where, pub, hotel, whatever. When he's certain the house is going to be empty.
What's the picture on the van?
Well, we've had 3 sightings so far. 2 of them had a red and gold logo on the side of a white van. One a couple of months back had the driver in a green jacket. This morning's had him delivering flowers.
Check it out, Jim. Start with the funeral, then get the names of all the florists who have made deliveries. Give the drivers a once-over.
Yes, sir.
No alarm?
No, they were going to put up a fake one. Husband reckoned it'd scare away the kids from down the hill.
Oh, yeah. What did he die of?
Heart attack. Fella across the way reckons he was only 42.
Can you hold on, Jim? Mrs. Halliday? Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I see. And where did she get them from? Yeah, what was the name of the florist? That's lovely. Look, thanks for your help. Bye. Jim? Yeah, go ahead. Right. Yeah. Got a snap on that last one, Jim. Downford Road, remember? Mrs. Halliday's daughter's wedding? Guess where the flowers came from?
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Can I help you, sir?
DC Carver, Signhill CID. Can I speak to the manager, please?
I'm the owner, Nina Johnson.
Mrs. Johnson. I wonder if I could ask you a couple of questions about your deliveries.
Oh?
I'll only take a couple of minutes. I wonder if you could tell me who was doing your deliveries in Hart Hill Road today.
Well, there hasn't been an accident, has there?
Oh, no. Your van was seen close to the scene of a burglary this morning. You might have noticed something.
Oh, I see. Doton. Doton Conchella.
Could you give me his address?
It's something Elgin Street. That should be easier if my husband was here. It might be in here. We keep copies of the licenses.
What's that for? Insurance?
Yes. Right. There. He lives with his grandmother.
Oh, go ahead. I'll be as quick as I can.
Okay.
Sorry, Jim, you're going to have to spell that.
First name, Delta Oscar Tango Uniform November.
Here you go, Doton Conchella. Joyriding, theft from motor vehicles. The last one was burglary, with 4 TICs.
And what's his MO, Donna?
Sellotapes the window, takes it out in one, light gear only.
What stopped him going down?
Judge said he'd give him one last chance.
How many last chances does a boy need? He's not just filling his pockets when the chance is there. I'd say the little scrote sits down and plans it out.
What, does a delivery and spots he's got a reception in the same name?
Well, that'll give him a pretty good idea of when the houses are empty. Get over now, Viv. Let's have a word with Doton Conchella.
Right, sir.
DC Club from Sierra Oscar receiving, over.
Go ahead, Sierra Oscar.
The name you wanted checked, it came up trumps. DCI says, can you meet Viv at the flower stall? Give her backup.
On my way.
Thanks, Polly.
Hello, Mrs. Johnson. Back again. This is DC Martella.
Hello.
I thought you got everything.
Oh, just a couple more questions, if we may, Mrs. Johnson. Is your driver back yet?
No, why?
Good afternoon, Ross Johnson. Can I be of any help?
Mr. Johnson, DC Martella, DC Carver, Sunhill CID. We're investigating a series of burglaries. Now, I wonder if we could have a look at your delivery records, please, sir.
Well, why? I can't see that they can be of any use.
Your van was seen near a burglary this morning. It would be helpful to have a look at your records.
OK, come this way.
How long has Doton worked for you, Mrs. Johnson?
Just over a year, I think.
You really?
Oh, is that exactly his age?
Well, I'm not sure, but
No, it's a charity gala. We give them the flowers gratis.
So you have
Sort
no
of
idea
our
when
donation.
Doton was working?
Very generous. Can't be cheap.
Well, it's hard to say no sometimes.
Yes.
Will you excuse me a moment?
Oh, thank you.
So you really
can't remember even saying anything else.
Nina, I'm sorry to bother you, but the arrangements for the hospital.
I've almost finished.
Well, do you want me to see to it? It'd be nice to get it there before visiting hour.
No, I'll do it. Do you mind?
Ta-love.
Mr. Johnson, a property in Hart Hill Road was broken into this morning,
Yeah?
and a witness saw your van at the scene.
Well, I think we did have a delivery in Hart Hill Road. There's a couple of funeral tributes.
Oh, this was about 12:30.
No, this was early. It was one of Doton's first drops.
Mr. Johnson, would your driver have been wearing a green zip-up jacket?
Well, all our drivers wear green jackets. It's sort of company image.
And you had just the one driver working today?
Yeah, you're trying to suggest that Doton was involved in your break-in. Is that correct?
Why should you think that?
Well, because I'm not stupid. I'm aware of his past record, and so are you.
And it didn't worry you at the time when you took him on?
Ah, well, taking him on was my wife's idea.
And you just went along with it?
Well, I was maybe reluctant at first, sure, but Nina was right. He deserved a second chance.
Mr. Johnson, I think you delivered some flowers to a Mrs. Halliday a fortnight ago?
No, I'd have to check that.
Well, it was a wedding. Would Doton have been the driver on that occasion too?
Well, if it was 2 weeks ago, yes, I suppose so.
You see, Mrs. Halliday's house was also broken into during the reception.
Look, I'm sorry, but no. I mean, Doton's been in trouble before, sure, but that's all finished, you know? He gave me his word.
Would he have had any reason to be in Hart Hill Road at 12:30 today?
Not that I can think of.
But he'd have known that the house was empty.
He'd have known when the flowers had to be there by, yeah.
And you've had no problems before?
No. Not really.
Not really?
Well, a few complaints, minor, it's nothing.
Yeah, well, such as?
Well, lateness of delivery, you know, that sort of thing.
And that's all?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, it's nothing. My wife asked me to have a word with him.
What about?
Well, he's been seen spending money, you know, clothes and girlfriends, trainers.
And?
Well, we don't pay the earth. We wanted to know where he got the money from.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Jim,
Yeah?
he's here.
Brendan Park Road, Yelverton Street. What about Bushmore Avenue?
Doten Concella. DC Martella, Sunhill CID. Doten Concella, I'm arresting you on suspicion of burglary. You do not have to say anything unless you wish to do so, but anything you say may be given in evidence. Do you understand?
What for? You know what for. Come on.
Any luck with the deliveries?
Yep, they're all there, 100%, and they all match up.
I ain't done nothing.
Tell us that at the station.
Mrs. Johnson, how many vans have you got?
Just the one. Why?
100 pounds.
Yeah, my wife found it after you left. Just clipped on like that.
I see. Now, where was it?
Oh, Doten keeps it in his van for his delivery sheets.
Right, well, I'm going to have to hang on to this for a while, sir.
Yeah, can I ask you, Doten? I mean, what'll happen to him?
I couldn't say so.
Wish there was something I could do. My wife's gutted. We both are.
Is that the one then?
Oh.
The one who did the widow's ass?
Oh, yeah, that's him, yeah.
That's evil. That'll chuck away the key with that one.
Doten, we've got a witness who said he saw your van, your jacket. He said he saw somebody delivering flowers after the funeral had left about 12:30.
Was it you, Doten?
No, it wasn't.
£100.
What's that for?
Oh, you tell me.
What you want about?
It's on your clipboard.
It wasn't.
Well, where did it come from, then?
You must have put it there.
Mrs. Johnson found it in your van, on the clipboard under the delivery sheet. Is that right? No.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I can't remember.
You can't remember £100?
No.
Well, I wish I could afford to forget that amount of money. Right, let's try again. Did you go back to the house or not? Yes or no?
I don't know, all right? I can't remember. See, as a police officer, you can't afford to get emotionally involved. Well, it gets in the way, sir.
That right, Reg?
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, it comes with experience, you know. But now, I have the capacity to isolate my personal feelings from the professional approach I exhibit towards a job.
Front office, Reg. Now?
Yeah.
What do you reckon on giving his granny a visit? See what she's got to say for herself.
Yeah. What are you going to be doing?
Pumping through paperwork.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
Well, something don't quite add up, right? 3 of the witnesses had the van down as a rust bucket.
Yeah, and what's he doing? Driving a nice shiny J-Reg.
Exactly.
See you later.
Alan, have you got the sheets going back, say, 12 to 14 months? I'm looking for a flower van nicked about this time last year.
BMWs I've got. Rovers any colour you want, but you know what? Flower vans have plain passed me by. Here, be my guest.
Never wanted to see the police on my doorstep again.
No.
Searching my house, hassling the boy. Why can't you leave him alone?
Are these all the clothes he's got?
Except the one he stands up in.
He hasn't been buying lots of new clothes recently, then?
No. How could he afford new clothes?
Tell me about his girlfriends, Mrs. Concella.
A boy doesn't talk to his granny about that.
He hasn't got any particular friends?
None that you'd notice.
Anybody that he talks about a lot?
Oh, Mrs. Johnson this and Mrs. Johnson that.
Nina Johnson?
He thinks the sun shines over her head.
Yeah, well, she gave him his job.
Oh, no. That was Mr. Johnson, the social worker. She says to me, get him a job. The judge likes to hear he's got a job.
So it was Mr. Johnson that took him on?
I don't think Mrs. Johnson likes him at the start. But now, she's like a mother to him.
Mrs. Concella, could you tell me what these dates are marked here?
To remind Doughton about his hospital appointments.
Hospital appointments?
Blood test. Here's his card.
And how long do these tests normally take?
Sometimes 2 hours, maybe 3.
Jim, how much longer are you going to tie up that monitor?
See other drivers at the flower shop, Sarge. I'm just running a quick PNC check on them.
I thought you already had a body for that one.
Yeah, well, it might be the wrong one.
Something's come up on this one, Jim. Deception, but that's 83. Handling the following year. Pretty ancient stuff, though.
And he definitely attended.
Garth, I think we've got a problem.
That's great.
Wrong body.
Look, thanks for your help. Bye.
Any joy?
Well, nothing at his grandmother's, but that was St Hugh's. They've just confirmed Doughton definitely attended for regular blood tests, and 2 of them clashed with break-ins.
So this lad you've got banged up, is he out of the frame or what?
What about the van?
Funny you should say that. Our favourite florist had a van stolen last year. Identical markings. A-reg.
So you're renting 2 vans?
But who's got the other one?
Well, whoever it is knows the 4. So I ran a check on the other drivers. You got something, Donna?
Ross William Walker.
Anything since 84?
Not really. Might have a thing about matches, though.
How do you mean?
April 1989, Walker had a factory on Finbar Street. Stock went up in flames. No charges brought.
But?
Seems Walker wasn't quite squeaky clean himself. Insurance company chanced their arm, refused to pay out. What does Walker do? Nothing. Doesn't contest it, just walks away.
Begs a question, doesn't it?
Shame, he's a good-looking lad.
He's hardly my type. Recognise?
Ross William Johnson.
He's milking the shop for all it's worth.
Tell me.
Well, judging by what was on his desk, he's got that business on its last legs. There's bills, demands, letters from the bank.
So the balloons are bound to go up?
Well, it looks that way.
Yeah, so what's Doughton doing covering for Johnson?
Why don't you ask him?
Doughton, did anyone ask you about breaking into houses? Have you shown anybody how you used to do it?
Yeah.
Who?
Well, why not? You're scared of him?
No.
Of what he'll say? Is that it? Look, come on, Doughton, tell me.
I went with him once.
Where?
It's just a big house by the park.
Did you know why you were going?
He just said drive.
And someone broke in?
Him, not me.
Did he pay you?
Said there'd be trouble if anybody found out.
577 from Sierra Oscar, receiving over.
Go ahead, Sierra Oscar.
Got a report. Suspects on the old factory site, Finbar Street, Unit 8. Can you deal?
Who's reported it?
No name, Barry. Said he saw lights. Probably just kids or dossers.
I don't know where he is. If I knew, I'd say.
Mrs. Johnson, your husband says it was your idea to take Doughton on. Is that correct?
No.
Then why would he say it?
Why does your husband use your surname, Mrs. Johnson?
It's a family business, my dad's. People are used to it being run by the Johnsons. Ross changing his name just made life easier, all right?
Oh, sure. Now, when was that?
Well, when we got married, when do you think?
Mrs. Johnson, your husband had a factory before, didn't he?
I know.
And it burnt down.
Well, so what? Are you going to tell me all the rumours, are you? He needed the money. He torched his own business. Don't bother. Now, can I get on now, please?
Do you mind if I take a look around inside, Mrs. Johnson? Bit of a mess, isn't it, Nina? Covering his tracks. Where is he?
Gone.
For good?
What do you think?
Well, you're going to have to tell us sooner or later.
I can't.
Why not? Loyalty?
You know, the funny thing is, that boy's down the station, lying through his teeth, taking the blame for somebody else. And meanwhile, you're all dropping him in it from a great height.
What do you mean?
What do you think? Breaking into a widow's home the day she buries her husband? You think the courts are going to go a bundle on that, do you?
He's looking at 12 to 18 if he's lucky. He's going to come out of prison with a degree in housebreaking.
What made your husband so keen on Doughton, Nina? A good cause? Charity?
Or an easy target.
Yes.
He's been using Doughton, hasn't he, Nina?
Yes.
I think he's been using you as well. Someone to take the blame when things go wrong. Isn't that right?
Yes. Yes.
Nothing was ever right for him.
Then he said it was my fault.
How?
He said I lied about the business before.
Before you married?
I never lied. I told him it was too small. He just didn't want to hear. I mean, what did he expect?
If you knew what was going on.
You have to keep on trying. But all this... It was giving flowers away. Charity dues. I kept saying, Ross, we can't afford it. But he'd always twist things round. Make it seem like it was me.
Nina, did you know what your husband was up to?
You don't ask. You daren't.
Nina, where's your husband? Where is he now?
Trying his old factory. He keeps things there.
What are you doing? Give me that.
Barry, what are you doing here?
Having a party.
This is police harassment. I haven't done anything.
No, of course not, Mr. Walker. Wasn't you, was it? Someone else.
Jim, one carved mahogany jewellery box. Ring any bells, Barry?